A minute few amount of people have pointed out in some of my recent videos that I have been focusing about the negatives of Jurassic World Rebirth just a tad too much, or that I've been oversaturating the community's reception towards the trailer a bit too much also. So, taking those notes on board, today I wanted to shed some light on one of the biggest positives about Jurassic World Rebirth in my opinion, something I don't see too many people actually talking about. So let's hope those who claim my content has been too negative recently actually show up for one of the more positive videos. Today, I want to talk about how Jurassic World Rebirth has learnt this very important factor from the original Jurassic Park. And no, I'm not going to be saying it's just like the first film, something that the creator marketing has been doing quite a lot. This is just an observation that I have made from the trailer alone that brings out a real spark and joy to the movie. Something that has been lost to time for quite a while with this franchise. If you watched my trailer reaction, or maybe you've been keeping up to date with what I've been saying in my podcast with Dangerville recently, that video is also on the channel, I pointed out how beautiful this movie already looks in regards to the colours used. So I'm going to analyse this and explain to you why the colour grading used in Jurassic World Rebirth is so important. But before that, be sure you subscribe to the channel for your daily dose of Jurassic content, whether that's news, theories, gameplays, or just generic lore videos to educate your mind about the franchise. I've got you covered. 2025 has a whole host of new content coming for this franchise, so be sure you're sticking around for loads of Jurassic goodness this year. But for now, let's get into the detail about what Jurassic World Rebirth has learnt from the original Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is undoubtedly one of the greatest movies to come out of Hollywood, especially for its time, 1993. It was a revelation in the movie industry with its groundbreaking CGI and incredible book adaptation. Despite having a great storyline, amazing CGI, and lovable characters, one thing that many people subtly give it credit for is its colours. Throughout the movie, we're put into a world of awe, something new. A place where science has surpassed our worlds and has established a groundbreaking discovery. And we feel that with each scene throughout the movie via the colours on screen. Warm, sun-drenched, natural. But these colours were used in the correct way, not just an overlap throughout the movie. Jurassic Park has such a natural feel about the movie. When there's sand, we get that feeling of browns and beige colours that aren't drowned out by anything else, making it feel like we are actually there in the dig site with Alan and Ellie. It even gets to the point where you can feel the brisk wind caused by the helicopter thrusting the sand into the sky. And then we move into the open field of Nublar. It feels breezy, but light, nothing too heavy. As the storm approaches, you start to notice that you can smell the damp in the jungle, or the wet tar on the tracks. And sure, whilst you could say that this was all by the power of filmmaking, I believe that the colours utilised in these scenes help bring out that extra element of feeling like you're there amongst the characters. It was a movie that puts you in the same situation as the characters themselves, and dare I say, it doesn't even feel like a movie, it feels more like an adventure. And I think that is something that Jurassic Park doesn't get credited on as much as it should do. The perspective you get throughout the movie is simply unmatched, and I thoroughly feel as though this is because of all of the warm and natural colours used. Unfortunately, as the trilogy went on, this art was sadly starting to diminish. The Lost World didn't quite hit those same heights Jurassic Park did, and the majority of the movie went more for a dark undertone, making the movie quite dim and obsolete, especially in comparison to the first film. Jurassic Park 3 almost revived that by bringing back the daytime sequences and action, but once again, the greens and blues just didn't feel like they stood out as much, and the contrast between them was just slightly off. But the Jurassic Park trilogy was undeniably better than the World trilogy in terms of colours. While I do personally adore the World trilogy far more than the Park trilogy as they flow better as a story and added heaps of interesting and accurate lore, the same cannot be said for the colorization used. The entire Jurassic World trilogy was encased in this blue overlay filter that really stands out once you start to notice it. When viewing the behind the scenes editing for Jurassic World, you realise how much that blue filter is in effect. Finding a solid reason behind why this was added is very hard to come by, but for me personally, I feel like it correlates to the blue colour scheme of the trilogy. The Park trilogy had more of a red and yellow colour scheme, whereas the World trilogy had more of a blue and grey theme. Therefore, I think something like that may have also had something to do with it. However, it's been pointed out countless of times that this blue filter can get quite ugly and annoying when watching the sequences. Even in the Malta sequence, while they did add the infamous Mexico filter for that country, even that had a blue filter used over the top of it. So a lot of the colours for these three movies were hidden behind something that didn't really make too much sense to add. For me, once I realised that there was a blue filter, I was slightly disheartened because it could have looked so much nicer. Jurassic Park had these earthy green tones with yellow and orange lighting. It also built up the tension with the correctly added dark contrasts for its nighttime shots, showing us the age of this movie, but also sitting us within the adventure as if we're taking part in it. The blues and the greys of Jurassic World gave off more of a modernised feel, which is good for the setting we're in 2015, but sadly was overused, making the movie feel less immersive than the three before it. The jungles, for example, they just feel less vibrant. So overall, it is safe to agree that the colours of Jurassic Park are far more superior. But where does Jurassic World Rebirth fit into all of this? Well, Jurassic World Rebirth is the beginning of a brand new era. Where Dominion wrapped up the Jurassic saga, Rebirth will set out to start a brand new saga within this universe. Gareth Edwards, the director of the movie, even came out and said that he feels like they've started a brand new trilogy within Jurassic World Rebirth itself, and with those words brings excitement to us fans. But what must firstly be established before building a new trilogy? The colours, and thankfully Rebirth has learnt from Jurassic Park about the colours. The official trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth showcases a deliberate use of the colour tones that blend naturalistic elements reminiscent of the original Jurassic Park with modern, intense hues to enhance the film's adventurous and suspenseful atmosphere. It's as if they used the original colour scheme mashed up with the good parts of the Jurassic World colour scheme. Where the World trilogy had focused more on the genetics and consequences, Rebirth throws us back into the adventure and mystery of it all, just like Jurassic Park did, making us feel more immersed in the suspenseful scenes that take place. Gone are the dull and boring forests, as the deep greens and earthy browns return for this movie. Lush jungle environments utilising rich greens and browns to invoke the untamed wilderness of the original park. This choice grounds the setting in realism and pays homage to the franchise's roots. Something that many people working on a movie has constantly reassured us. Cool blues and steely greys, both are used to make the ocean stand out amongst the sand and the jungle on the land, providing subtle context that each biome has a creature within it, as we see the Spinosauruses and the Mosasaurus swimming in the sparkling blue of the ocean. But that's not all. The orange and the yellow of the containers stand out in a dimly lit room to make our eyes dart and focus our attention on what was once there, leading our brains to think about the mystery of this place without having any added dialogue to this. The movie also employs strategic use of shadows and low lighting, especially in suspenseful encounters with dinosaurs, to build tension and evoke a sense of danger lurking in the unknown. Just take a look at the dark surroundings of the Velociraptor's claw, so that pasty white scaly skin of this dinosaur stands out just that little more. And the vibrancy of the colours in the trailer stand out so much. So much to the point that we have an internal colour palette for each dinosaur. If I say Titanosaurus, you'd think of the greens that surround this dinosaur. Spinosaurus or Mosasaurus, your mind darts to the blues of the ocean. The horrific failure mutant D-Rex, your mind immediately thinks of the colour red. Something I am sure you didn't really think about until I mentioned it just now. This thoughtful application of the colour tones in Jurassic World Rebirth not only enhances the visual storytelling, but also bridges the aesthetic gap between the original trilogy's naturalistic feel and the modern, high-stakes adventure of the new installment. A great mixture of both worlds. And honestly speaking, I already think that this is the best movie of the franchise, visually speaking. It's so nice to see a pretty Jurassic movie once again. So in conclusion, the colour tones of Jurassic World Rebirth work so well because they create a seamless balance between a natural realism and a cinematic intensity, enhancing both immersion and storytelling. The The lush greens and the earthy browns root the film to the untamed wilderness, echoing the classic Jurassic Park feel, while the cool blues and the steely greys highlight the contrast between nature and human technology. The vibrant yellows and oranges inject adrenaline into action scenes, ensuring key moments stand out with dramatic impact. A major reason the colours are so effective is their correlation with the dinosaurs themselves. Titanosaurus correlates to green because of the jungle's surroundings, reinforcing its connection to the land. The Mosasaurus and Spinosaurus are associated with the colour blue, visually tying them to the vast ocean, emphasising their dominance in aquatic environments. And the D-Rex mutant, bathed in red from the flare and the containment chamber it was held within. This colour matches the dinosaur and becomes a symbol of danger, rage and primal power, making its presence all that more menacing. By using these intentional colour designs, Jurassic World Rebirth not only enhances the visual appeal of each scene, but also deepens the connection between the dinosaurs and their environments. This thoughtful approach brings a heightened sense of realism and emotional weight to the film, making each and every moment feel immersive, striking, and true to the spirit of the franchise. Once again, making the viewer feel as though they are immersed with these characters. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for more Jurassic content coming soon, but most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.